Right, so today I want to talk about Jed MacKay's Spider-Man. The most controversial Spider-Man run in recent years. I like it. I don't want to say that I'm fully on board with all of the decisions that are being made, but I'm okay with the direction that it's going. First off, John Romita Jr. on art. I love John Romita Jr. when he draws Spider-Man. I feel like Spider-Man is the only character that he can do right and that he does well. I hate his Iron Man. I don't really like his Thor. His Captain America doesn't look right. But when he draws Spider-Man swinging through the city, swinging through New York, swinging through Manhattan, it looks right. It just looks like that's the image that I go to when I think of Spider-Man. I think of how he's drawn by John Romita Jr. and then probably like Mark Bagley or something. But I friggin' love John Romita Jr.'s art on any Spider-Man book. He draws Spider-Man well. He draws the cavalcade of Spider-Man villains really well, and there's a reason why people love John Romita Jr. on Spider-Man. There's a reason why that was a big deal, getting him back on the book, especially for the 60th anniversary. I feel like that was a massive deal. There's a reason why whenever there's something special that happens to Spider-Man, Romita Jr. is on the first one that gets the call. Jed MacKay writing. Jed MacKay knows how to write. He knows how to write characters. He knows how to write humour as well. The book is not a comedy in any stretch of the imagination, but like he gets the voice for Spider-Man. His voice of Peter Parker I don't really get, but that might tie into things that are gonna happen later on. But I don't really get his voice for Peter Parker yet. Peter Parker seems like a bit of a knob so far, and maybe that ties in with what happened during this like 6-month break between the start of this arc and the end of the Beyond stuff. This is so much better than Beyond. I will just say that. This is so much better than Beyond, and arguably better than most of what happened in Spencer's run. I know the latter half of Spencer's run, all of the stuff to do with Kindred, I really liked, but a lot of that run just meandered and felt like it was going at a snail's pace, and there was so much going on, and not really a lot of it had much payoff. Even the Kindred stuff, when I got to the final issue of that run, I was like, that's very disappointing. But reading this, it's like it's street level, even though supposedly whatever happened before the 6th month missing chunk was not street level at all. There's like Spider-Man coughing in the middle of a crater, which, you know, gets people reading. It's like the opening scene before the credit roll in a TV show. And I don't like that when comics do that, because it takes you out of it, because it's not a TV show, it's a book. You know, when you're reading a comic book is the only type of book that has adverts in it. It's the only type of book that is actually structured like a TV show, or it has certain amount of things happen, ad, certain amount of things happen, ad, and then, you know, or like has the opening like page, and then you splash it open and it's got like Spider-Man, you know, all the good stuff, all the, you know, comic book shenanigans. I've come to get it, and thankfully, because I read books digitally now, I don't get adverts. but I do still get the weird, like, opening splash page that's just the character's name or the title of the book, you know, and I've come to expect it, and I've come to that's just a thing as a comic book reader that you're gonna get. I like that it's street level though. I really like that it's street level. It's dealing with Tombstone. It's dealing with the Rose. The Rose was brought back in the Spencer run, and I like that because it's stuff that I've liked before. Digger is in the first issue. Again, that's a Straczynski and Romita Jr. creation. You got Romita Jr. back. You're gonna give him a villain to draw that he's drawn before. I really like the look of the Digger. Like there's like an off joke about a green door, and you know, hey, that's Immortal Hulk because gamma powered villain. I like that. But yeah, there's only 2 issues so far, so there's not a lot to really talk about. You can only really talk about Tombstone. Looks like he's going back to basics. He's told his daughter, to basically go take Robbie on vacation. You don't want to be here because you don't want to see what I'm going to become, to deal with the Rose and to deal with, you know, all this like gang war stuff, and like you're getting these seeds planted that this is going to be a massive gang war essentially, and I'm excited for that because the best Spider-Man stories in my mind are the ones where he's dealing with street level stuff, or he's dealing with like the Kingpin, like Tombstone. I love Tombstone mostly because of Spectacular Spider-Man. That show kind of made Tombstone this like big villain for Spider-Man. And it's like more things need to do what that show did for smaller scale villains. Like I would love the Chameleon to get like a Mr. Negative type treatment in the next Spider-Man game. I know it's going to be Craven that gets that treatment. Craven's more popular than Mr. Negative. Fucking El Macho is more popular than Mr. Negative now, apparently, because he's getting a movie, but, you know, neither here nor there. I really like the direction that this is going with the main story beats. The thing that is causing controversy is the direction that Jed MacKay is going with Mary Jane. Giving her 2 kids that are not Peter's, that belong to someone else, and giving her a relationship with someone else. It's something that I know is temporary. It's something that is temporary, and it's something that they're probably going to explain away with like clones or something, or like this guy that Mary Jane is with will probably end up being a villain at some point. We'll probably get that kind of like background Kindred style building up of this character becoming evil and like using nefarious means, and we're probably gonna get like a Days like Sins Past, not Sins Past, fucking what was the thing where they gave like Norman Osborn 2 kids, and they were after he had sex with Gwen Stacy. That storyline, the fucking I can't remember what it's called, but they're probably going to do something like that again, but with a new character, and instead of Gwen Stacy, it's Mary Jane, and like her kids are going to become like these weird mutant creatures and something or other. That's where I see them going with this, because You know, there's a lot of aping on stuff that Straczynski did. I would be very surprised if we don't see Morland show up in this run at some point. We already know that Spider-Man's getting a Goblin Glider. We know that there's going to be stuff to do with that's going to tie into Judgment Day. That event, the Avengers X-Men Eternals crossover, that's crossing over into every book for some reason. But I'm interested in where that will go. Whether I like the decision at the moment, it's too early to tell. I know that a lot of people are like, just make Peter and Mary Jane be married again. I'm on the camp of, as long as we get good stories and as long as the writers that we get know what they're doing, or, you know, can write a justifiable story that is enough to brainwash you into thinking you like this, you know, then I'm fine. Because Nick Spencer tried to put them back together and was stopped at the last minute. I don't know if that was because he ran out of creative steam. That's what it feels like when reading that book. It felt like he didn't know what he was doing by the end of it. He was just like, this, and then Beyond was just a whole load of writers conglomerating together to make something that was, you know, worse than what would happen if it was just one, because there was too many cooks in the kitchen. But now Jed MacKay has a singular vision. He knows what he's doing. Back to basics, you know, and we've got this mystery of what happened in the last 6 months that makes everyone hate Spider-Man. You know, we've got this weird relationship with Norman Osborn where it's kind of this friendship where Norman wants to help Peter. Like, I don't know if his intentions are genuine yet, but there is this kind of, Norman wants to be a part of Peter's life and wants to treat Peter almost like a son, almost like Harry, because he lost Harry. I think that's where they're going with the storyline. Like, because Harry, you know, what happened to Harry during the Spencer run happened. Because of that, Norman's going to take more of a fatherly figure role. Yeah, as I was saying, Norman is making, or is trying to take on this more fatherly figure role for Peter, which I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm interested to see where that goes, because we have like previews of Spider-Man getting his own glider, his own like Goblin glider, which doesn't make sense because he can swing. He's got the webs, so why does he need a glider? I don't know, but it's a cool visual, I guess. I'm interested to see where the whole Mary Jane having kids thing goes. In the Free Comic Book Day issue, we have all of these tie-ins to, like, apparently Spider-Man's going to have more of a focus with the X-Men, because Ben Reilly, who became his own kind of supervillain at the end of Beyond, is now going to be teaming up with Madeline Pryor, which doesn't make any sense at all, but he's going to be teaming up with Madeline Pryor, apparently, to, you know, wreck Spider-Man's world or whatever. And, you know, that, I don't care for it, because I don't care for Ben Reilly. I didn't care for any of the Beyond stuff. So if you want to do that, fine. Make it good. You know, write a decent story, I'll be happy. But, you know, there's also this thing with Moira McTaggart. Apparently she's like this weird Sentinel thing. She's like this weird robot lady. And she's like taking over the body of Mary Jane to go to the Hellfire Gala. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think that is the story that you want to tell, I don't think it makes sense, to be honest, because like Moira McTaggart has no previous connection to Mary Jane or even Spider-Man in general. So where did this come from? Who thought of this? Jed MacKay? Is this all just Jed MacKay's doing? Did Jed MacKay think, right, Spider-Man, let's make Spider-Man integral to what is going on in Krakoa? Why? Why not? Let's make Spider-Man integral to what is going to happen at the Hellfire Gala. Because why not? Why not? Am I the only person who thought the Hellfire Gala already happened? The Hellfire Gala already happened. Is there another one? Is there another one? Like, why are there 2 Hellfire Galas in the space of 1 year? Is that like an annual thing? I'm not reading X-Men, so I don't know. I wanted to read X-Men, but there's so much friggin' X-Men. And it's like, you read one book, you gotta read all of them, so I'm just not reading any of them, because I don't have that much money. I'm not made of money. I don't have a money tree outside. So yeah, I'm not reading any X-Men books, because if I was reading X-Men would be the only thing that I was reading. So yeah, Spider-Man's apparently going to be an integral part to the X-Men mythos and the X-Men lore and the whole Krakoa saga. So I'm not excited about that. I'm excited about Tombstone. I'm excited about The Rose. I'm excited about seeing all these things from the Straczynski era, the era that I really like, being brought back, because Spencer wanted to do that, but he went halfway. I feel like Jed MacKay's going to go the full gambit because he's got Romita Jr. back, because Digger's back, because it's street level, because, like, are we gonna see Shade come back? That would be cool. Am I the only person who knows who Shade is? You know, are we gonna see the fucking the wannabe Dr. Octopus that had like a fucking I don't remember what his name is. I don't think he even got a name, but we're gonna see that guy come back. You know, all the cards are on the table, really, for Jed MacKay. He can do what he wants, really. And he has been doing what he wants so far. I don't know if it is what he wants. You know, I don't know if the decision to give Mary Jane kids was his decision, or if it was a higher-up's decision. But I am interested. I'm intrigued. I'm the person that's like, it could end up being a cool story if they do nothing with it, and if it's just giving Mary Jane kids, because that's what's going to set Jed MacKay's run apart from everyone else's, or if it is giving Mary Jane kids because that's going to be an important part to this overarching story that Jed MacKay wants to do, and it's going to actively, and we're going to get something out of it. Like, by the end of the story, we get a new villain. By the end of this story, we get, like, a new status quo for Mary Jane, which, like, could either be that she's going to die. I really don't want that to be the case. Or she's going to be so mentally fucked up by all of the things that is going to happen to her within the next year, you know, being taken over by Moira McTaggart, the father of her kids becoming a supervillain, her kids becoming supervillains, you know, and her ex-boyfriend killing or whatever. I'm trying to predict what the next year of Spider-Man's going to be based off of, like, a one-page reveal at the end of Spider-Man #1. You know, I have a feeling that this new guy, the father of Mary Jane's kids, is going to become a villain, and the kids are going to be integral into what his plan is, and he's probably going to fight Spider-Man, probably at the top of the Brooklyn Bridge or at the top of something. He's going to chuck Mary Jane off. Mary Jane's going to fall, and it's going to be like a reverse of the Gwen Stacy thing where Spider-Man's actually going to save her this time. That's where I think this storyline's going, and and then they put Mary Jane in hospital because you can't have Mary Jane and Spider-Man getting married, can you? You've got to have so many obstacles for that relationship to actually work. They're never going to come back together again. Just accept it. Accept that they're not getting back together again, and just hope that writers keep coming up with unique and fun ways for them to not get back together again. And I feel like this is a unique, fun way for them to not come back together again. And the rest of the story, I think, is really well done, and I like all of the stuff that Jed MacKay's doing with Tombstone. I feel like he really gets that character, and Tombstone feels like the Tombstone from Spectacular Spider-Man, which I really like. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think of Spider-Man at the moment. Let me know what you think of the reveal of Mary Jane having 2 kids, and let me know what you think of Tombstone. And also in the comments below, who is your favourite street level Spider-Man villain? I'll see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed this one, leave it a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Peace.